What's up, Mr. Different TV? This is Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions and Studio1Tutorials.com, and today we're going to be digging deeper into bussing. What's up, everybody? It's Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions and Studio1Tutorials.com. Today, we're going to be digging deeper into bussing. If you guys haven't seen the first video that Slim put up on the channel from me, I suggest you go watch that because I'm kind of doing my series for his channel in order. And the kind of some background on it is I started with the most complex element of working inside Studio One in a linear based DAW and something you know, that has a mixer based setup instead of a pattern based setup. And I believe that once you guys get this, because you guys already know how to make fucking MIDI tracks and good drum patterns. If you're coming over from FL Studio, you already know how to do all that. What you don't know how to do is think in terms of, you know, left to right. So that's what I'm going to try to show you guys how to do now. I have this track pulled up right here, and it's all audio. It's something I made in Machine, and what I have going on is there's a lot of effects that are on the buses. And you know, there was a comment in the last video like, whoa, why do I even need a filter bus? And I'll fucking show you. I told you guys in the last video I'll show you. Here, let me show you. Fail. So you know, you can hear I got a time-based plugin on affecting the whole track during this pattern. Then over here I got the, you know, the underwater filter. But first, the first thing I want to show you guys about bussing is, you know, let me turn this track up for you guys for a little bit. Like, you see, if you're looking at my master fader, you see that I'm clipping at about -3 dB. I'm getting an RMS of like -12, and this track could be so much louder, especially for the purpose of this tutorial. Now on my mix bus, I already keep my mastering chain that I like set up on deck, ready to go. But the thing is, in order for my mastering chain to work, and a lot of mastering chains to work, I need to be clipping in my mix at -6. Now, if you didn't bus nothing, okay, if you just decided that, you know, you were smarter than all the fucking real audio engineers in the world, and you're like, I don't need to bus, well then, you know, you would have to lower all the volumes on all these tracks in order to get that maximum volume down to -6. But if you just, you know, bus like the pros, I can now take my these two buses here, my drums and my band, which is, and my filter bypass, which is, you see, if you look on my outputs, I have stuff routed to the drums, I have stuff routed to the band, and I have stuff routed to the filter bypass. So if I just highlight all three of those and just bump them down, let's say 3 dB, 4 dB, let's see what my max peak comes in at. you see now we're at -6 and we have the same exact balancing relationship between all of the channels, and I still have, and this is why this is important, I still have my fader resolution in my actual faders, which is a lot of people don't know this when they start mixing and when they start producing tracks, is the less that you move this, the more powerful it is. So if you want to mix things and you want to turn stuff down, it's better to do it in the plugins, or in an actual gain plugin, or in something like a like the output of an EQ plugin or something like that. Because when you go at the very end of your mix and you want to make a very fine adjustment and push something a little bit back or pull it further or pull it forward in the mix, that makes your fader way more powerful. It's like an exponential effect on the dimension of your track. A fader pushes things forward and pulls it back. So for example, if like this sound right here, if I wanted to turn it up, or if I wanted to turn it down a little bit, you see the space between 12 dB and 24 is almost the same as the space between like this 6 and 12. That means that the amount of space that I move the fader is 12 dBs rather than up here where it's 8. So hence I have more resolution. So that is one of the main reasons why you don't just, oh, I could just turn down all the faders over here and it's the same thing. No, it's not the fucking same thing. Trust me, it's not the same thing. So I've went ahead and I've turned this down. Now I can just get into my mastering chain, which I already know like the back of my hand because I use it on every track. Compress the peaks a little bit. Let me just pop that down to -6, and then we'll put this guy in. This plugin is a beast. They're still selling this thing for like $50. If you don't have this plugin, you are playing with yourself big time. For the last bit of compression, the good old L2 to just crank the fuck out of this. Now I got Ozone, I got the Steven Slade FXG, like I got really good limiters, and I still love the way the L2 sounds. You see, so boom, now I can, that's a fully, squash the shit out of that track. It's loud as fuck. Now you can put it up on BeatStars, SoundCloud, wherever you want to throw it. So the first thing off rip is bussing makes your mastering process really easy. The second part now is with these effects. Like this beat, you hear it, it's just the same sample looping over and over again. The variation is coming from the drums, which is fine. You don't always have to find variation from changing the music or writing chordal bridges or shit like that. You don't got to do that. They call them rap beats and trap beats and hip hop beats because it's all about the actual beat. So that's where I like to put a lot of my variation in. And on top of that, I like to add filters and different time effects. So for instance, right here, this filter effect where I'm so what I've got is on my filter track. If you guys remember the graphic from the last video, if you don't, which you probably don't because people are lazy as shit, let me just go ahead and pull it up for you guys because I'm a nice guy, right? So currently all of my buses are routed to the filter for this purpose. If I want to affect the whole track, and this is primarily why I designed my signal chain like this. If I want to affect the whole track, I want to make it easy. And all I have to do is set up an automation in, you know, in the Studio One EQ, and you see I go from the intro where it's this happening. Watch right here. Okay, so that is the point of the filter bus, is if I want to put a plugin that affects the entire track, that affects the mix bus, but you don't want to go putting fucking time-based plugins and filters on your mix bus. Why? Dude, spend the $30,000 on audio school and put yourself in debt so you can understand, you know, the process that much, if that's what type of thinker you are. But I'm just telling you, take my advice for it. You don't want these effects on your mix bus. You want to create a bus before things go to that to put these effects in. Now, when you have a situation like this where you're like, yeah, this is cool, you know, going from this, like, yeah, that's fine. But for me, whenever I have a change in energy in one of my tracks like this, I typically like to use a noise fall, some type of sweep, an impact, something that lets you know, like, hey, this is a different part of the arrangement. So in this case, I chose to use a sweep. Now the thing is, before I made this change where I have just the audio routed to the band bus, when I put the sweep in, it sounded like this. Which, yeah, that's cool or whatever, but the point is I'm taking away the highs from the track, which is giving me a new lane, to a new frequency lane, literally, to go ahead and introduce something cool. And a sweep or any type of white noise effect or something like that, it takes up so much space in the higher frequency spectrums that this is like, whoa, this is the perfect opportunity. You're really gonna hear this thing. So I do all that is to say, I don't want that filtered. Okay, don't want that filtered. So the way that I do it is I find the track. This is the output. For you guys that haven't watched the first video, this is the output of a track on the mixing board. This is the output of the channel. So if you go ahead and click on it, you'll have a choice. This little pitchfork icon indicates buses that you can send this sound to, this channel to. So I create a bus called the filter bypass bus, and the filter bypass bus, like is illustrated in this graphic, doesn't have anything connected to it at first from my original template, and it bypasses the filter. Literally, it means that whatever I put on the filter channel can be bypassed in the filter bypass, and it'll go straight to the mix bus. So when I do that, I wind up with this sound. And to me, that's just way better. You get to the sweeper effect comes out a lot more clear, but I don't have to push the volume up so high in order to compensate for the lack of the highs in the mix, which is an awesome tool to have in your toolbox. And that's the thing when you're getting into producing and mixing while producing, is you want to be able to know your DAW in a way so that the ideas that you have can be translated, because there's nothing more frustrating than having a great idea and not being able to put it through. So again, that's why I'm choosing to go over the most difficult concepts in Studio One before I show you guys how to make tight beats, because you know I do that all day. Now this section right here, so what I've got going on here is a plugin. I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen. This is called ShaperBox. It is by cable guys, and it is the gross beat killer. I mean, like, seriously, like when you look at gross beat, right? And I'll put y'all on to something. When you look at gross beat, where you at, ho? Whoa, you can use gross beat in Studio One, bro, but I think that's for FL Studio. No, it's a VST. If you actually buy your shit, you can use it in whatever DAW you want. But you know, gross beat gives you the option to alter time, and it gives you the option to alter volume, which is very cool, very powerful. Love me some gross beat. ShaperBox, as you notice, has a similar layout, but what ShaperBox allows you to do is it allows you to alter time and volume and filters and panning and width, and it is fucking amazing. So this is definitely one of my favorite plugins right now. It's a lot easier to use and program than gross beat. It's a lot easier to get rid of the clicks and pops that you find in gross beat. You know, gross beat was cool, but this one right here is definitely the future. You know, if you're not scared to not be basic and use the same thing that you saw, you know, your favorite producer using in a Razor video. Now, all of that is to say this: I have this effect, but I didn't want it to affect the drums. I just wanted, you know, because if I was to have this on the drums, it would sound like this. And that's, you know, that's cool for an effect. It doesn't sound awful, but in the context of the song, this is the first 4 bars of the second verse, and I really don't want that just destroying a rapper. You know, because rappers need the drums. So what I wanted was a sound like this. So what's happening here is I have put this time-based plugin on, let me pull up the graphic again. I put it on the band bus. So I've got the plugin here. Okay, it is just affecting the band bus and the sound that's piped into the band bus, while the drum is completely unaffected. And that's what allows me to still have my 808s, my snares, my hi-hats untouched, while the ShaperBox is just going fucking hammer time on every other instrument. So now, I hope seeing in a practical example of how I use busing to, you know, make affecting the instruments one thing and affecting the track another way, and also being able to master quickly. I hope that you guys can see that there is a tremendous value, one, in a DAW that focuses around a mixer, because it just makes the mixing process and getting a final product out that much easier. It makes finishing tracks amazing. As you can see, like this is a song that I made the beat in Machine, but I still came to Studio One to mix because it's just a beast in mixing. The other thing is that if you want to affect your drums, you know, you could put whatever plugin you wanted up here: gross beat, stutter edit, glitch 2, effect tricks, looperator, ShaperBox, you know, whatever. So this is Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions, Studio1Tutorials.com. Keep it simple, don't be basic. If you guys are looking for beats, go to Studio1Tutorials.com /buy beats. Keep it simple, don't be basic. We will see you on the next one.